Hi and welcome back to our page. Recruiting new staff into your service is exciting, but with every new hire comes responsibility. One of the most important things is making sure each person has a complete and compliant staff file. A staff file is not just paperwork, it's your evidence to the CQC that you recruit safely. Meet your legal obligations and support your staff properly. Missing documents or poor checks can put you at risk of enforcement action and downgrade ratings. This guide sets out everything you must keep in your staff file, how to check it properly, and ensure you're inspection ready. So why do staff files matter? Well, the Care Quality Commission inspects staff files under two key regulations. The first is Regulation 19, Fit and Proper Persons Employed. Every worker must have the legal right to work, be safely recruited, and be suitable for the role. And the second is Regulation 18, which is staffing. Workers must be competent, trained, and supported with evidence of this kept in their file. Well-kept staff files show CQC that your service is safe, well-led, and compliant. Poor files suggest weak governance, unsafe recruitment, and lack of oversight. Section 1 is Recruitment and Right to Work. This is the foundation of safe recruitment. It proves that the person is legally able to work and has been vetted properly. What to include and how to check it. The first is your application form and CV. This must show full employment history with no gaps. If there are gaps, keep the signed explanation from the applicant. Next is references, and make sure it's a minimum of 2. Ideally from the most recent employer. Call the referees directly to verify and records any notes of conversation. And lastly is proof of identity. This includes a passport or driving license, a photocopy, and this must be signed to confirm you checked the original. Other key areas for your staff file are proof of address. This includes any utility bill, bank statement, or council tax letter no older than 3 months of receipt. And lastly, but most importantly, is right to work. If the person is a UK national, keep a copy of their passport. If they have settled or pre-settled status, use the Home Office online service with the share code they provide. Print or save the PDF confirmation, sign and date it. Other key documents to keep in your staff file are a national insurance number, a P45 or P46, and of course a DBS check. An enhanced disclosure is required for regulated activity. Record the certificate number and issue date. Keep a signed note confirming the manager saw the original. If the person is subscribed to the UK DBS service, print or save the online check result. If the DBS shows convictions or cautions, complete a risk assessment, explaining why the person was employed, and keep this signed in their file. Here's a key tip. Inspectors often ask, how do you know this person is legally allowed to work? Always show your signed right to work check or share code. The next section is employment documentation. This section sets out the contractual relationship and confirms the worker understands their role and responsibilities. So here's what to include. A signed employment contract covering pay, role, hours, holiday, and any notice. A job description signed by the worker to confirm they understand their duties. An offer letter and acceptance form. And staff handbook declaration, signed to confirm they received and read the handbook. You must also keep a confidentiality agreement, so this links to GDPR and data protection responsibilities. In addition to this, keeping a working time regulations form, so opt out if staff choose to work more than 48 hours. And lastly, rehabilitation of offenders declaration where required. Here's a quick tip. Inspectors sometimes ask staff, do you know your roles and responsibility? Having a signed job description proves this and has been explained. The next section is training and competence. CQC will check your files to see if staff are trained and competent to carry out their duties. Here's what to include. An induction checklist. Show that care certificate standards or equivalent were completed. Mandatory training certificates, including safeguarding adults and children, moving and handling, infection control, medication, food hygiene, fire safety, health and safety, GDPR and first aid. And also note expiry dates and set reminders for refreshers. Next is specialist training, e.g. dementia awareness, autism, epilepsy, peg feeding, or any training linked to the service user group. Make sure to also show shadowing records, so this is evidence that the staff member shadowed an experienced colleague before working alone. competency assessments, signed checks of skills such as administering medication and infection control. And lastly, supervision and appraisal records, every 2 to 3 months, signed and dated, and annually for appraisals. The next section is health, safety, and well-being. This shows that you have checked that the person is fit to work and that risks are managed. What to include? Health questionnaire or fit to work declaration, completed before starting. Risk assessments for lone working, pregnancy, night shifts, or young workers. Return to work forms after sickness absence. Occupational health reports if relevant. COVID-19 vaccination record or testing evidence if voluntarily provided. And here's a tip. If a staff member has a health condition, inspectors will want to see how you risk assessed and supported them. The next section is performance and development. This demonstrates that your staff are supported, monitored, and given opportunities to develop. Here's what to include. Supervision notes, at least quarterly, signed by both manager and staff member. Annual appraisal forms with personal development plans included. Informal discussion notes, for example, concerns raised or extra support provided. Disciplinary or grievance records, if applicable, and stored correctly. And next is evidence of qualifications and development, so NVQs, QCFs, certificates, leaderships, training, specialist courses, and many more. And here's a quick tip. Staff should be able to say, I feel supported and get regular supervision, and your records should provide this. Here's some key tips on keeping files inspection ready. Use a checklist at the front of each file, so you can quickly see what's included and what's missing. Sign and date every document you verify, e.g. ID checks and DBS certificates. Track expiry dates for DBS renewals, training and visas. Store files securely in line with GDPR, so lock cabinets for paper, encrypted storage for digital. And lastly, keep records for at least 7 years after a staff member leaves employment. A complete staff file is one of the strongest ways to show CQC that your service is safe, well-led and compliant. Every document you file is a piece of evidence that you're doing things properly. At CareSync Experts, we help providers create and audit staff files and meet inspection standards. From right-to-work checks to DBS tracking and training records, we give you systems that keep you inspection ready all year round. If you would like expert support setting up your staff files, contact us today and we'll make sure you're always ready when CQC asks for them. Thank you so much for watching.